Hi, church family. This is the October 4th Sunday school lesson. It starts with the story of the thankful man based on Luke chapter 17, verses 11 through 9. When someone shares a snack with you, what do you say? If your sister is carrying something heavy and you open the door, what might she say? Thank you, of course. Listen for someone who says thank you to Jesus in this story. 10 men stood by the side of the road. Everyone kept away from them because they were lepers. Lepers were people who had a skin disease, like a rash. They couldn't be around other people. So lepers lived by themselves on the edge of town. They stood near the road so that they could call out for help, food, or anything they needed. The 10 men wished they did not have this skin disease. They wanted to be able to live with their friends and family. Jesus and his disciples were on their way to Jerusalem. To get there, they had to pass the village where the lepers lived. When the lepers saw Jesus, they knew that he could help them. They called out, "Jesus, please help us." Jesus looked at them and said, "Go to the temple and let the priests see your skin." Jesus told them to do this because the priests needed to see that their skin was clean. The 10 men left to go to the temple. While they were on their way, they were healed. One of the men saw that his skin disease was gone. He said, "This is amazing. Now I will be able to live with my friends and family again. I have to go back and thank Jesus." This was a Samaritan. The Samaritans and Jews didn't like each other. But that didn't stop him from thanking Jesus. The Samaritan went back and found Jesus. He praised him with a very loud voice so that all could hear. Then he bowed down at Jesus' feet to thank him. Jesus asked, "Were the other 9 men healed too? Where are they? Are they coming back?" Then Jesus said, "Get up and go. Your faith is what healed you." It didn't matter that Jesus and the leper were from different places. It didn't matter that nobody wanted to be near lepers or Samaritans. Jesus did. It's helpful to know 2 things about the customs in the time of Jesus when we think about this story. The first thing is that people with leprosy, or whatever skin disease they had, were outcasts. They couldn't live in towns, and they often banded together as they sought food and shelter. People avoided them and chased them away. They didn't want any contact with them. The second thing is that Jews and Samaritans wanted nothing to do with one another. For the Samaritan man to be the one to thank Jesus while all the others hurried off would have seemed very remarkable to Jesus' Jewish disciples. The story is more than a lesson about politeness and thankfulness. It's also about breaking down barriers between groups of people. We know that Jesus says we are the light of the world, and that we are called to let our light shine. The man in this story lets his light shine by showing thankfulness. You probably say thank you many times a day, but this week, let's pay attention to how we say it. Do we sometimes mumble the words thank you? Or do we forget to make eye contact when we say it? Let's let our light shine as we give thanks to the people around us this week. And what about the Jews and the Samaritans wanting to stay away from each other? The man in this story let his light shine by returning to Jesus with thanks, and even though they belong to different groups. How can we let our light shine when we encounter people who are from different groups than our own? Our light shines when we remember that we are all made in God's image. He made each one of us a child of God. Differences are important in God's world, and they add to the richness of God's creation. Now let us close with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you next time.